from the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. This is a winter weather alert.
All right, it is 5 o'clock in the Tennessee Valley. Good morning to you. I'm Ben Luna alongside Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, wishing you a happy snow day. Schools closed all across our viewing area this morning. Many offices related to local and even some state government offices shut down today or working on delayed hours, in addition to local businesses. For the complete list of cancellations, at least that's been reported to us, mostly school systems and universities, you can find it at tnvalleyweather.com. Just scroll over under the forecast tab and click on closings and cancellations. So if you've not heard or if you've not looked out yet, it is snowing all across our viewing area at this point. I want to take you and show you what's going on with our local live radar. Here's a check on that this morning as we take a peek outside with the live radar based in Lawrenceburg. And notice from the shoals now all the way through Columbia, we've got ground, very low level snow or wintry precipitation falling. Heavier bands can be found from the shoals northward, and that lighter snow is just now entering into Columbia. Almost Spring Hill here in just a few moments. Definitely around the Lewisburg area, southern Marshall County as well. Athens seeing a good round. I think we've also got reports now from Huntsville over and then definitely back into Mississippi, but we've got just a lot of stuff going on. Here's a look at Viper this morning. I'm going to put this guy into motion and show you the overall direction and just how intense some of these snow bands are. Like notice around Florence down to Russellville and over toward Moulton this morning, there's just a lot of heavy snow, and all of that is lifting north. We've got reports of several inches of snow accumulation already on the ground across our viewing area as this stuff continues to just plummet the region. Driving conditions have deteriorated something awful over the past hour since we were live with our last update. I'll tell you at least what's been reported into us. We've already had our first traffic accident of the day. That was just off Highway 64, just outside of the Lawrenceburg city limits. Luckily, that was not a too terribly of an injury crash, but nevertheless, folks are sliding across roads this morning. Speaking of roadways, I plead the fifth on that. It is still very early for me this morning. Let's start with our Chaser and Streamer tour this morning. Here's a look from Brett's feed. He's still hanging out in Florence this morning. We'll switch over and take a peek at Cam and Dustin. They are out and about this morning. They were headed south through Loretto a little bit ago, and it looks like they are, Fred, I think that's the state line.
Yeah, that looks like a snow-covered Highway 43 well down south in the county.
Yes.
And, we've already gotten some reports down near Loretto of over an inch of snow accumulation, and it's rapidly piling up down there.
Yeah, I mean, that is just absolutely amazing.
And you were showing Brett a minute ago, he already has an inch and a half and still piling up at his location in Florence.
Let's switch over to Bryant. Bryant is running around Florence. Looks like he's going to be near the UNA campus. And I think actually, speaking of which, coming right up into the University of North Alabama this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, I think he may be there on the north end of Court Street. It's kind of hard to tell because all the roads are getting snow covered, but that looks like the split right there as you go right up into the campus on Court Street.
Yeah, amazing. And again, the shot that we showed you a moment ago, which, let me switch back to Cam and Dustin for just a second real quick. That's a treated road where they are.
Yeah.
That is a treated road as they approach the state line. And you can see the trouble they're having this morning coming up into, right at the state line in St. Joe. And that's incredible. Even the treated roads, how they are, suffering this morning already. Do want to do a couple Skycam shots this morning. Talked a lot about North Alabama. We'll start with our very beautiful picture of the University of North Alabama this morning. Here's looking over part of the Arctic Air Skycam network, and things are very, very white across Florence this morning. Let's switch gears and come up to, we'll go to the Lawrenceburg camera real quick and check out what's happening there in town. And just a good blanket of snow coming down. You can see the Heritage Automotive Center in the foreground and looking down North Locust Avenue or Highway 43. We'll switch back around and we'll take a peek at the...
Let's hit Decatur.
Okay, let's hit the Decatur camera.
Get over closer to I-65. We haven't talked about them too much. And that's at the split where you split off and go from Alabama 20 and then US 31 goes north up toward Athens. That's that intersection. And you can see main highways are snow covered out there.
There's Priceville.
Yeah, that's the I-65 river bridges going over the Tennessee River right there. And again, like Ben said, even these treated main highways, at minimum, you have slush on there, if not snow-covered highways.
There's the Singing River Bridge just next door to Namsey. And you can see how thick things are there. I want to head back up toward, let's check out Pulaski real quick and see what's happening there. I don't know if we'll be able to see a lot from that camera shot. Not too much in detail. Cherokee's a big wide spot.
But you can see the conditions.
Yeah.
It's there. It's in the 20s as well. Area wide, it's dropped down into the mid to upper 20s now. So that's why these road conditions are deteriorating just rapidly. In addition to this cold air we've had around leading into this for the past few days.
Coming down in Etheridge, for sure. So anyway, we have picked up quite a bit of moisture so far this morning. I want to switch over and take a look at heavy snow rates, and that has increased significantly northward and has inched a little bit more eastward since our last update this morning. You can see those heavier bands shifting well into at least Limestone County, almost into Madison County, and how things kind of work as well up into Lawrence, Giles, and Wayne this morning. That is starting to really complicate things for folks who have maybe not necessarily paid a lot of attention to weather so far for this morning, but we had a few comments to start the day of folks saying, hey, it's 2 a.m., where's the snow? And well, hey, it's coming. So it is here, and it's only going to continue to pile up and get much, much deeper as we head through the course of today. Fred Gossage is on the weather wall. He's going to break down our conditions of what we have, at least for right now, and then how this is going to play out as we move through the next few hours. And actually, you know, we've kind of hem-hawed around a little bit and talked a little bit about it behind the scenes, but some of those heavier snow predictions might be changing up at least over the course of the next hour or so.
Yeah, we're watching trends. We've talked about this a little bit already this morning, but we're watching trends here for about another hour or so, but we're just about ready to expand our 4+ inch snow area down a few miles to the south to include all of the Quad Cities in North Alabama, expand it down to the Colbert side of the Shoals Metro, because things are just verifying to where it looks like those higher snow totals will extend down into the Shoals area, not just southern Middle Tennessee. Winter storm warning for all of southern Middle Tennessee, North Alabama, Northeast Mississippi. This isn't really going to change. This isn't as important anymore. This is the alert leading into the storm that was getting you prepared, but just letting you know that the warning will extend today and tonight, expiring at 6 a.m. on our Saturday morning. Here are the headlines, the main bullet points for the winter storm. Running now through this evening is the timing for this. Heavy snow, eventually mixing with sleet and freezing rain for much of the day. That wintry mix happening mainly in the midday and the afternoon. For many of us, this is turning out to be a widespread heavy snow. Not for everyone, but for many locations it is. In the heavier snow band, we've been showing 4 to 7 inches of snow is our main expectation. Isolated heavier totals possible certainly in there, and we are getting ready to expand the 4+ inch area down to include northern portions of Colbert County and downtown Florence and areas like that, just because of the trends and just reality with what we're seeing compared to computer models and things like that this morning. The heavier snow is verifying. There's already over 1.5 inches of snow in Florence. We have several hours to go before this even starts mixing with other precipitation types. And with all the cameras we've shown already in this update alone, it goes without even being said. Widespread travel impacts today, tonight, and lingering into parts of the weekend with the melting and refreezing process. Here's another look at a regional satellite and radar composite showing the heavy snow. It's actually accumulating heavy, not just in southern Middle Tennessee and North Alabama and North Mississippi, but all the way down in the central Alabama, over 1.5 inches to near 2 inches in parts of Talladega County in Alabama. And here within the past hour, National Weather Service in Birmingham had to extend a winter storm warning for snow accumulation as far south as Tuscaloosa, Bibb, and Shelby County. So even down here, snow accumulations getting up there. So that really increases our confidence in heavy snow in northwest Alabama and all of southern Middle Tennessee, and then back into North Mississippi here over the next several hours. Current temperatures across the area, they range from the upper 20s to the lower 30s out there. These are air temperatures. The next map I show you will be roadway temperatures, pavement surface temperatures, and you can see for a large part of the area, they're not just below freezing now, but they're dropping out of the 30s into the upper 20s. And that's why these road conditions are deteriorating rapidly, and it's 5:11 now. This is happening right on schedule. We were expecting this to happen near or a little bit before sunrise, and that's what's happening area-wide. And that's why schools have let out, and that's why there have been all these cancellations, because this will be a high-impact travel situation today that won't clear up in just a few hours. Here's the timeline with a Futurecast. It's doing a pretty good job compared to reality as well. Maybe 1 or 2 degrees too cool with the temperatures, but we're down into the upper 20s in many areas, so it's close enough. It doesn't really impact the forecast at all. Heavy snow overspreading the area this morning. Once we get closer to the midday hour, this wintry mix starts expanding northward into North Alabama and maybe into southern Middle Tennessee. This is probably more of a sleet situation instead of a freezing rain, glazing ice, but we'll watch it carefully. I don't expect much of a glaze of ice at all in southern Middle Tennessee. There may be a light glaze of that type of ice south of the Tennessee River in North Alabama. It's mainly going to be a heavy snow situation until about midday, and then it changes to more of a sleet mix as we head into the midday and the afternoon. Everything tapering off going into the evening, and then maybe a flurry into the overnight hours tonight as we drop back into the upper 20s as we get close to daybreak. Maybe even a scattered snow flurry during the morning hours of our Saturday, but flurries won't impact too much more, but the damage will have already been done for this heavy snow. This is where we currently have this 4+ inch snow area, but again, here between this update and the 6 a.m. update, we are going to expand this dark blue line a few miles down to the south to include the Quad Cities in northwest Alabama. It includes all of southern Middle Tennessee, back into northwest Alabama, northeast Mississippi, 4+ inches of snow, maybe some isolated spotty areas in here as much as 7+, especially on the Tennessee side of the state line, where we think that certainly could happen. Even south of that area, though, the lighter blue for places like Athens, down to Russellville and Red Bay, 2 to as many as 4 inches of snow accumulation possible this morning before it switches to a wintry mix. And then south of there in the white area in North Alabama, 1, maybe 2 or even 3 inches of snow certainly possible, but that will be more of a wintry mix down there. Best chance of a light glaze of ice, maybe up to 0.2 of an inch, just shy of 1/4 of an inch, would be near and south of the Tennessee River in North Alabama. For southern Middle Tennessee, I'm really not expecting a glaze type ice, but I am expecting it to mix with sleet as we head into the midday and the afternoon. And sleet kind of prolongs these travel problems because it takes a little longer to melt because of just the properties that it has physically. 4 to 7 inches of snow in that main snow band, isolated heavier totals. It's a high impact winter storm situation that we have on the docket for today and tonight. So winter storm warning across the entire area for today and tonight. It expires at 6 a.m. Saturday. We'll start to wrap up the precip around this evening, but the travel impact's not going anywhere during the overnight. Ben, do you have anything before we go back to regular programming?
I have the 1 hour snow totals pulled up for you.
Okay.
If you want to take a peek at that, those are pretty much verifying very well with the ground truth that we have.
Yeah, because a lot of this, once it started reaching the ground, once the radar said it was snow, it was already sticking. You didn't have to worry about melting and stuff. So these numbers will be within half an inch of reality, if not even closer than that. And you can see that's an inch or more of snow all the way up to near Highway 64 in southern Middle Tennessee. And we're starting to get into the 1.5 to 2+ range over northwest Alabama. And we have several hours to go. So that's why our confidence in heavy snow, not just in southern Middle Tennessee, but into northwest Alabama, is just increasing the deeper we get into this thing.
All right. That's all I've got. We have our streamer feeds pulled up in our L-bar where you can see those live, and we're changing those in and out here over the next little bit of who's up and going this morning. But we are here. We will be here all day. We're going to have a much larger show coming up at 6 this morning. We're going to take a little time and get all that put together. So we've got a few more elements that we're going to roll out with coming up at 6. And if you're wondering, we've not done a push notification yet. Figured everybody would at least probably get up towards 6 this morning, unless you're part of the bunch that's been up all night waiting for the first flake to drop. So including that guy over there, because he has put in his time ×3 over the past 24 hours. You're probably pushing, what, 18?
I've been up since about 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
Wow. All right, long day ahead, but we are here for you, and we will continue to watch things here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel and keep you updated as we go forward through the next little bit. Looking at comments real quick, and Fred, if you want to, I can throw you a couple of these questions.
Yeah, we'll keep this brief because we do need to do our behind-the-scenes stuff, but yeah, that's fine.
Do we still think that it's possible to go 7 to 8 inches across the area?
Especially on the Tennessee side of the state line, I certainly think there will be isolated areas that certainly could do that.
Okay. Really, that's the only question that we've had other than condition questions, which you've already addressed. So that's where we are at 5:17. You are watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. For Fred Gossage, I'm Ben Luna. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.